Hey, good evening, guys. Good. What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to another evening of Chatterbox. Yeah, that's what it is. Another evening of Chatterbox. Thank you for joining me. This particular topic kind of resonated with me because we're all maturing and we're getting older, and we all keep making promises to ourselves, and then we keep breaking them. And a lot of times we're trying to Um, we feel guilty behind these particular feelings and stuff that we might have because we don't quite complete and do the things that we say and we want to do. But what's true to fact is that there are a lot of factors that are involved in why things are just different for everybody. Um, let's just get this thing started. First, I wanted to say that it's important that we, even though we don't really feel like it, that we really try and make a strong attempt to you know finish what we start or do everything that we say that we're going to do. um, and it's not for everybody else's gratification, it's for our own gratification and stuff. At some point, you stop believing in yourself, not because you're weak, but because you keep telling yourself that I'll do it and you didn't. And over time, that adds up. So, this episode is going to break down how small, broken promises quietly destroy self trust and why motivation isn't the issue. You know, um, a lot of times we think it has to do with our motivation and stuff, but a lot of times it's not motivation that, you know, um, nobody lied to you more than we have lied to ourselves. That's really, one of the main things is that nobody basically came to us and said, um, you're not going to do anything that you say that you're going to do. You're not going to um, do the things that you want to do. You're not going to obtain the things that you desire to obtain. These are things that are in our psychosis. Nobody lied to us more than we lied to ourselves about the fact that we need to be consistent and do the things that we say we're going to do and say what we say we're going to mean, or do what we say we're going to do and mean what we say. You know what I mean? That part right there. So, it's just important that we stop lying to ourselves. We trust what our feelings is as far as accomplishing the things that we want to accomplish, and we don't let the different situations in life sidetrack us because there is. Now, there's a difference between disappointing others versus disappointing ourselves. I think, if you disappoint other people, yeah, you feel a little bad and stuff, but nothing's worse than when we disappoint ourselves. We are kind of like, you know, um, human, and we, when you feel disappointed, the worst thing you can do is to tell yourself, I'm going to do something. Like, how many times have you told yourself, this year, or you make a New Year's resolution, and 2 or 3 weeks into the year, you've already started on a track record of doing something different, and it's not even about the willpower to do it. It's based on the situations or life circumstances. Sometimes life, get us down. I know specifically for myself. Um, when coronavirus happened and everybody was kind of like shut down, with all the loss and stuff that we all suffered and the disappointment that came after that with laying off work and, all kinds of different things, I personally felt, a semi undetached to realism or lost based on the things that were going on around me. It kind of confused me a lot because I had a lot of unanswered questions. I had fear and doubt inside me. So a lot of the things that I wanted to do, or I started out to do for myself, it kind of changed things. But we've had family loss. Different people have lost jobs. Different people are constantly. If you're looking at the television all the time, it puts you in a mild depression. Sometimes if you hear negative things all the time, it kind of shifts your willpower to do what it is that you're supposed to do. So, how self trust erodes quietly, not dramatically, is because each time we experience those different type of situations over and over again, they become a habit to us. And then, you know, we tend to not really, we choose safety over truth. It's comfortable for us to just remain this way, rather than realizing the truth is that if we are consistent, persistent, and we will persevere if we dedicate ourselves to whatever it is that we say that we want to do. So the little promises that add up, like you'll say, I'll start Monday. How many times we'll say we'll put things off? Putting things off is not good either. If you get up in the morning and um, you know that the time is available, it's for you. You can't live in a comfort space of I'm not going to do it or I'm comfortable with the way things are. You've got to build that momentum in your spirit and just do it. Like, what's important to as you get older is your health. You know, a lot of times we don't want to exercise because we're comfortable. Just getting up every day, I'm comfortable. I don't need to move around and everything. But then years pass and that comfortability, it becomes a lot of health ailments and stuff to take on. And there's, you've got to look at things long term, like what are the benefits of receiving if I do what I'm supposed to do? What are the benefits from doing what I'm supposed to do? I mean, come on, it happens to all of us, right? You'll tell yourself, I'll speak up the next time. Like for instance, when it comes to like ourselves, you know, we'll give passes for everything. And then we'll say somebody, they do something for you or they don't accept you or they give an opinion about you and then you quietly accept it. But then at the same time, you'll tell yourself, oh, the next time I'll do something about it. No, it's time that we do something about it now. You know what I'm saying? Um, trust me, doing something now is more than you get more reward out of responding to people's opinion about you or not so much responding in a negative way, but don't let things pass. Let somebody know I ain't no punk. You know what I'm saying? Or this is my comfort zone. I'll accept this. This is what I'll accept. And if you're gonna be a part of me, this is what I expect of you. Or those are things that we need to stop putting on the back burner. It's like breaking promises to ourselves. We'll tell somebody, I'm never going to let that happen again, but we always end up letting it happen to again. Um, why small things? Why small broken promises hurt more than big failures? Um, I would say because there are a lot of small situations and circumstances that happen in our lives and it builds up. It builds up tension in our spirit. It makes us have hate. It makes us judge. It makes us have regret and remorse. It builds bitterness. It builds all those different things, and we need to change that. Change that, because every day we wake up is a new day, and when you wake up, you gotta look at it and say, God, this is a new day, and this is another chance or another opportunity for me to do things or get things right. That's what I tell myself every day. I'm not perfect, you know what I mean? I've experienced all kinds of ups and downs in my life, and some I probably should have been dated a long time ago, based on situations that I've seen or been around. But it's those experiences that have molded me and made me the person I am today. And nothing is more important than me at this particular point, because I can't care for somebody else if I have insecurities about who I am as an individual. And I don't know if you really can let this resonate with you, is that you have to see where you are important. You, you are important. Um, why don't we even mean it anymore? Why we don't mean it anymore when we say that? Saying things because we say things to feel better, not because you'll act. You know, it's like we'll say things like, "Oh, I'll put it off until Monday," or "I'll say it the next time," or you know, I'll start working on that new piece of equipment that I got. You'll get the equipment. You're motivated to do it, but then the equipment is sitting there. And I'm being honest with you. Like I had my little gym equipment, all like different things that I've ordered, but I had to force myself a lot of times to get in the mode, the survival mode. I mean, not getting to the integrity mode versus the survival mode, because the integrity mode is, for me, it's like, okay, integrity is everything. And why, when we make promises to ourselves, we don't rely on the integrity like we want to presume ourselves to be for other people. Um, yeah, it's exhausting, you know, um, trauma and the pressure play a role. You know, it, the pressure to me, you guys, of not exercising when I'm supposed to, or not getting up and being responsible and doing what I'm supposed to do, is even as far as this um, podcast is concerned. Sometimes, you be doing stuff, you get tired, you know, but um, I don't want to feel pressure to play a role. I want to just do it from the bottom of my heart. I don't want to feel traumatized when I think of myself. I don't want to feel exhausted or exhaustion when it comes to doing things to better myself. You know, listen, rebuilding credibility with ourselves is so important. It is so important. Um, we need to stop making big promises and start making honest ones. Listen, we stop trusting ourselves, right? We have to stop making big promises and start making honest ones. And what I'm basically trying to say is, you don't have to have, you're not going to accomplish everything in a day. When it comes to mental health, physical health, spiritual health. Those things take time. And when you're consistent on wanting to better yourself or wanting to have a better feeling, you have to first is that you take baby steps, honest steps. Control your environment, like who you have around you. You can't have negativity around you 24/7. You gotta have positiveness. Someone who's speaking in your life. Go out, get some self-help books. Start reading the Bible, the word. A lot of you feel like, well, the Bible is not written for me, it's for a whole different time and all this kind of stuff. And you have a right to your opinion. Take what you can get from this and let it resonate with you, and whatever, you just leave it behind. But I believe in the word, the Bible myself. And believe it or not, since I've always believed in the Bible, but since I started applying the Bible, it helped me to dwell more in the light rather than dwell in the darkness. I put it to you like that. And I honestly believe that God is in the midst of everything that we do. And that if we include Him in our daily life, like all the things that we desire or we want to achieve, that He desires for us, because I've even grown from what I desire. Now I'm like, Lord, let it be what you desire for me. You know what I mean? And that sounds so much better. So I'm giving the universe, because I believe that we all have a purpose here. And somewhere or form or another, we're going to get to wherever that purpose is. And, it's no longer about judging the other individual for how fast they got there or the way they got there. It's as long as you get there, and you get there by traveling in the light. If you pass positivity because you feel positivity, then your life will definitely change. Yeah, that's like keeping one small word to yourself is so much more important than trying to keep many. So start making your list a little smaller, not so much smaller, but put the things down that you know within your reach. And then once you accomplish those things, then try on something else, you know. I'm just telling you, in order for things to have worked for me, it was because I had to believe in something bigger than me. And that was my motivation to want to do what was right, because I know as long as I was doing right, that thing that I believe in, God, that it was going to open doors for me. And because if I am consistent over intensity, consistency over intensity, I've I've learned to be consistent with my prayer, be consistent with my reading of the word, be consistent with my morning rituals, like journaling, writing things down, um, you know, task that I have in my life. I've been consistent with journaling, like writing down, scheduling things, scheduling my time so that I didn't feel so burnt out and stuff, because I know what I can handle. God is not going to give you more than you can handle. But at the same time, He wants us to be smart with our time. So that might be eliminating things that that are not good for you, but they're fun, or it might be eliminating people that you feel are entertaining to be around, but they're not benefiting you in any kind of way. So, um, consistency over intensity is it's like you have to be consistent with something. It doesn't have to be draining to you to be consistent. That's why it's stated that when you journal and you write things down, you can look over your progress that you make to get you to where you are right now, you know. And if you're not a person of habit that's doing anything like this, you can start very small and get some small wins first, and then you'll be able to take on some big wins. Um, the truth starts with coming. The truth starts coming back the moment that you stop lying to yourself. You know, and for me, when to stop lying to myself was stop making these outlandish desires or wants or two things on my to-do list that I know were out of reach for this particular time. When you pray, God gives you wisdom, and the wisdom. My grandmother always told me pray for wisdom, and when I pray for wisdom, I keep a pad and a pencil next to my bedroom on my night table, and in the middle of the night, God will give me a thought, and you know what I do? I wake right up and I write it down because just that right there in itself is that's a habit of knowing that when he gives you something to get up and write it down because you know that your mind is already all over the place that the next morning you'll forget it. So, you know, he gives us things when we sleep, when our bodies at peace, when our minds at peace. That's when God gives us things. But we have to learn to write them down and prioritize them and put them in perspective of where they belong. And you know if you need to quit smoking cigarettes. You know if you need to stop having those drinks. You know if you don't need to be smoking marijuana. You know if you need to listen more than you need to speak. You know if you need to call your parents and tell them you love them a little more. You know if you need to exercise because your health is declining. You know you need to center yourself around positive people because your mental health is not good. These are things that when we do, they benefit ourselves and they change the way our perspective is on life because we no longer keep breaking the promises to ourselves because nothing's more important than trying to just stay focused on things that are to benefit you when you got all of this negative stuff movement that's around you that's discouraging you from doing what it is that you want to do. You are a winner. You can experience anything in life that you want to. You just have to be consistent and persistent. Forget about what somebody else is doing. Get off social media and stop looking at or comparing yourself to other people. Listen, it's important to be in your own lane and focus on yourself. This is the only way you are going to take care of the business that's necessary. Now, if you happy with yourself, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And if you happy about it, I'm happy as well. If you know you need to lose weight and you know you need to lose weight, it don't matter what other people think about you because if you're comfortable within your body, then you're comfortable. You don't, do what you feel is comfortable. But I'm talking about those innermost personal things that we experience when we are by ourselves. When we're looking in the mirror or we're in a room by ourselves and that inner thought is coming through you and you realize that you keep lying to yourself because you're not doing anything that you say you're going to do. Those are the problems that I'm trying to get us to look at in a different way, in a different perspective, and see what a blessing it is for us to receive when we move in a whole total different direction. So, this month right here, Why You Don't Trust Yourself Anymore is a series, it's a four-part series. Today is February the 7th. We'll be doing 14th, the 21st, and February the 28th. And which is our last series of the month of February. But each series is going to get, I mean, not each series, but each weekly session or podcast will go into deeper and a little more further. We only have so much time to cover so much. And um, I always want to give you something you can guys can take away and resonate. You know what I mean? Let's see. So you know me again. I'm going to talk about this my AI stack concierge, which is something that I created. Okay, and also what it does is it helps us to be able to, if you dealing with AI any kind of way and you have all these different plans and stuff and everything seems to be all over the place, the information and everything. AI concierge, the curtain, what it does is it put things in perspective. You get to know right away if you're interested in an AI platform, what it does for you. You can put the information in the name and it'll tell you exactly what it does. You have to read through all of the information. And I'm looking for 10 people who would want to um, enlist. Like when I say enlist, I mean like if 10 people who want to do a trial run with me. So only thing you have to do is, it's called a process of the flow process. I want you to help me with my flow process. I want you to experience it and then tell me if you think that it's good, if I need to change anything. And then I'm going to have a quiet Q&A. And in return, what I'm going to give you is a lifetime membership, okay, for free of the actual platform. So if you're interested, please call me at 424-343-4101, or my email address is DwayneXavier at chatterboxpodcastcom.net. Okay, just let me know that you're interested in the AI concierge stack, and what I will do is I will definitely enlist you. Okay, but I need people who are serious minded and who really want to um, experience order, understanding, and knowledge about what AI is really about. You know, when it is up and running for so many months, it'll just be $1 per month. You're getting it free, but that thing that's $1 is going to actually change to, I think it's $9.99 for a core package, and then if you want the maximum passive package, I think it's like $27 a year or something like that. I don't know what it is, um, but you know, if you want to explore the future automation, try it. Okay. What else I want to talk to you about? Oh, yeah. So, um, again, this series that we're working on, okay, for this month. So why you don't trust yourself anymore? It's a really, really, really touchy topic, and the reason it is touchy is because it a lot of us are doing a lot of laziness or self doubt or just feeling not feeling as if we are accomplishing or doing the things that we want to do in life right now. And together this month, we are going to start some new rituals. We're going to start writing some things down, journaling. We're going to start setting time, special time with away in prayer, because that's important. Because we got to remember, everything that you're not doing it because I want you to do it. You're doing it because you're taking the time for yourself. And if you're already out there and you're doing what you're supposed to do, hey, help somebody else. It's good that we get together and, we all talk about the positive wins, talk about our wins, because our wins are encouragement for other people as well. And trust me, when I'm winning, I want you to win. I know, I know you are a winner. I know that positive things are always going to come to you, you know. And when I see the positive things coming to you, I feel like a total different person. So, guys, until next week, I want to say thank you for joining me on Chatterbox. And I love you guys, honestly. Check out my cooking. I'm doing my little culinary arts and posting it and hoping that I'm able to help a lot of you moms out there or dads who just don't have any idea about really how to cook. And I'm giving you like these one, two, three step items to go ahead and cook. So thanks again for joining Chatterbox. Until next time, love you.